Welcome to Fans of the Forge, where we are recapping Season 6, Episode 7, The Javanese Kris. Speaking of Chris, he's to my right.
What's up?
And over there is Teresa.
Hello.
I'm Sean, and let's jump right into it. So after a few weeks of hiatus.
At least a month.
Yeah.
I forgot that this was happening until yesterday. Chris is like, oh, yeah, it's done.
Back on.
We're back. So this episode we have, for our contestants, John, we think Medler, who's a part-time smith with 4 years of experience. We have Joe Nipper, part-time smith with 2 years of experience.
He was a shopmate of a previous champion.
Yes.
And that was the guy that had shaved. Wasn't he the guy that shaved something onto his back?
Was it an
It might have
anvil?
been, yeah.
Wasn't it?
Was it an anvil?
I forget what he
He had
shaved.
shaved something on his back, and he remember he took a picture with Doug or something like that. But anyway.
Yeah, he had a
We
crazy
digress.
axe that had all sorts of
Right.
holes and stuff in it. To move on to Brad Richardson, full-time smith with 5 years of experience. And finally, Steve Coster, a full-time smith with 32 years of experience, which is almost as long as we've been alive. So he's been doing this a long time.
It's true.
Okay, so round one. They are revisiting a fan favorite. They rolled in a 1986 truck. It was clearly a Chevy or GMC. And they are asked to make a fully functional friction folder with the blade being 11 to 13 inches long, which is insane
Jeez.
for a folder. So
It was giant. Okay, before we go any farther, how do you feel about the fact that they are doing the same challenge that they've done before, just maybe with a different style knife? Like they're making them salvage from a truck, which is something they've done before.
I think any salvage is, it's all right. I mean, there's nothing that special about it, but make them work for it. That's fine. You know,
Okay.
if it's a motorcycle or a bike or a car or truck, whatever.
All right.
What do you think? You're over
It
it?
just felt like it was a little bit rehashing, like if they had to go back and take something from an earlier season and just do it again. Like we were just saying how well the season was going with the first few episodes and how it felt fresh and new. And then it's like, well, now we're going to take an idea from an earlier season and do it
All
again.
right, yeah, I can see that. I think at some point you just run out of ideas.
That's true. And this one particular
One.
opinion of myself is not my full opinion of the episode.
Okay.
Right? That's just of the fact that they did this premise.
Okay.
Question. So it's a friction folder.
Yes.
It's a foot long, folded.
Yep.
Where do you keep it?
Not in your pocket.
No. Yeah, no. And it's not really going to be very comfortable to carry around. Like those things were huge.
Right.
The handles were ginormous.
As one guy said, like you need to put it in like a backpack, not
Oh, yeah.
not a
Right.
pocket.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. Function wise, I guess you could take it camping, and I don't know.
Yeah, but do
Sort of
friction
jungle.
folders even exist that large?
They do now.
I think
Yeah,
now
I
they
don't know.
do.
Maybe they invented the new kind of friction folder.
So I guess maybe that's the new thing to take away from it.
Well, there you go. Something old, something new.
There you go. Just like the wedding. Perfect.
What color was the truck?
Not blue.
Not blue.
Oh, I was gonna say that'd be all right. All right. So anyway, John, doing his thing, and they show him doing an edge quench with 35 minutes left, and then he put into some water afterwards
Yes.
to cool it down further. Which I think Ben may have said something about that. Could develop a crack. So then while grinding, he finds a 1/2 inch crack about 1.5 inches from the tip of the blade.
Oh yeah.
And
It was pretty obvious. You
it
could see
was,
it.
it was pretty obvious. So could have been from that water. Came
Yeah,
back
just
to
the heat
bite him a little bit.
caused too much stress
Yeah.
there.
Moving on to Joe, he started by cleaning off the steel. Now to mention, these guys all took like leaf spring from the truck. They just took the torch, cut out some leaf spring, and went to use it. So he cleaned his steel up, and he was deciding whether to forge to shape or just grind the hell out of it. And so he ended up picking up a significant warp after his quench, and after the second quench, it was a lot better.
Yep.
So that kind of worked out for him. Moving on to Brad, he was paying attention to the tang in relation to the spine and the point. He quenched in water for the purpose of cooling it down to grind.
So he could like hold it more easily.
Yeah, so he could hold it, so he could grind it.
Yep.
And wouldn't you know, he found a crack in the blade and decided to weld the cracks versus starting over. Now, he only had an hour left at that point, so to try to start a new blade was going to be pretty impossible.
Oh, yeah.
So he just, welded all over those parts. But as Dave said, he couldn't know that he was getting any penetration to really fix that crack because he didn't grind like a bevel into it to fill it. So it was just kind of grinding or welding right on top of it. So it wasn't exactly fixing the problem. Moving on to Steve. He's never made a friction folder before, which I could probably say is true for most of these guys.
Right.
He goes over to Big Blue, and that thing just falls right out and flung across the room. Almost
It
hit.
really landed like this close to Joe.
Yeah, it was really
Standing there in
close.
this hot blazing metal. Just
He's go, oh, look out. And he brought out Optiviruses while grinding, and Will makes a joke about his reading glasses times a million, because that's really funny.
The judges all got a kick.
Yeah,
But it looked like he made a joke, and they're like, nice dad joke. Okay. And then someone was like, oh, say that again and play it up.
yeah, play it up, guys. Yeah, that's a knee slapper right there. And then Steve got a good quench. So moving on to judging. Joe, they said his was heavy, and his pivot hole seems to be in the wrong spot. The tip might be hard to cover with the handle, but otherwise it was solid. For Steve, it was designed for overall function versus just the parameters of the challenge. Doug liked the rounded off tab of the tang so that it wouldn't like poke into the hand during use. John, his overall shape was good. Ben notes the crack, and it can be seen through. So he held up a light to it, and you can see light through this crack. But he said that part could be cut off, though, and he would still have enough length.
So that's actually not terrible. He had a way to possibly fix it.
Yeah, saving grace. So moving on to Brad. With so much welding done, the judges couldn't determine what is a weld and what is a crack. And the pivot point was at the thinnest part of the blade. So
that's not
yeah.
good.
And because of that, Brad got the boot. The ricotta was not set up properly, and the cracks were concerning to the judges.
So for round 2, they are attaching a handle. Nothing super fancy, just make a handle.
A big handle.
Giant freaking handle.
A foot-long handle. All right, so John, he immediately starts working on taking care of that crack, and he basically took a chunk off the front part so that he could keep the length still. He had drilled the pinhole in the wrong spot, so he needs to drill a new hole into the hardened blade. And then he contours the handle to have a better grip.
So when he was drilling into the hardened blade, he was the one that was having trouble getting that drill to go through, right?
Yep.
Yes.
And while he's drilling, he's really pushing. And he said, this is a hardened blade, and I didn't think it was going to be this hard. And then you hear Will saying, he is really, really hard over there.
I missed that one.
Yeah.
So did I.
Oh, yeah.
Ew.
Hey. But
Yeah.
So then Joe, he starts by thinning the blade, part of his grind the hell out of it plan. He's the last one to start on a handle, and he's still assembling it with 15 minutes left. And then that handle ends up being super blocky.
That thing was wicked. Oh, my goodness.
But he got a handle on it.
Holy crap. It was just 2 pieces of plywood basically on the sides, and that thing was just had this weird shape to it. It was like a boomerang. I was like, oh, man. Yikes.
So
Yikes.
Steve was in pretty good shape. No refinement necessary. He can just get started on the handle. He drills 3 holes into the handle to test to see which one would be in the best place. That was a pretty good idea.
Yeah.
He then blue backs the spine to make it softer for the bumper test. And he has the most time to work on the shape of his handle.
Yeah,
because that was all he really needed to do was make the handle.
He had planned well.
During round 2, in a commercial break, there's a new show coming up called The Butcher. It looks like it's Forged in Fire and Chopped combined.
I saw that.
I'm very excited.
Butchers.
Yes.
Starts May 22nd.
Very interesting.
Butchering different types of animals.
Animals, yeah.
And it's a competition to see who can do it properly, I guess.
Something like that.
So that'll be interesting. We'll check that out.
Yeah.
It's weird that it's on the History Channel. Like, right? Isn't
It seems like it should be a cooking channel kind of thing.
Yeah.
But they're not cooking it. They're just
No, they're just cutting
it.
Well, they better be cooking it afterwards, or else that's a waste of good meat.
And the pig carcass kill test isn't.
Well, that is a waste of good meat, too. But I mean, it's probably the same situation where they're sitting under studio lights for hours. So
Who would
maybe,
wanna eat
you
it?
would probably want to eat it.
At least it's just a pig. Like, they're using some exotic animals here.
One the butcher.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
that's a good
gator
point.
is one of them. I forget what the other, I don't know.
I'm
Is
sure
gator
there's all
considered
sorts.
exotic?
Yeah.
Maybe up here.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Unless you're on swamp people.
Yeah, then it's
Then
just like
they're killing
breakfast.
gators left and
It's like our
right.
squirrels.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, but we don't eat squirrels.
We don't.
I'm sure other people do. I'd try it.
I heard they're good
Oregon
eating.
Trail. That was
Really?
like a
Yeah.
staple.
Oh, that's right.
Uh-huh.
I always went for the bears. Just kill them.
Yeah.
I'd rather get
You
6
get a
squirrels.
lot of meat out of the bear.
Oh, yeah. They were
Right.
huge. Hundreds of pounds.
I could never carry the bear.
Wow.
Anyway. So we're moving on to testing for round 2. The strength test was Ben Abbott will baton the friction folder 6 times into a car bumper. Ben pauses after the 3rd strike, so he's like, "Oh, that's it. We made it."
Yeah, I thought it was over.
Yeah.
Yes. But he kept going. Overall, the entire knife held up well. The edge took minor roll and some glinting. When Joe went to do his, there was a fancy effect after the 3rd
Did
strike.
you see that? They're adding special effects to the testing. Teresa pointed it out to me.
I noticed it on his, and then you couldn't really, I just saw it in
was
all the
like-
other tests
It was
afterwards.
like they kind of like multiplied him, or like kind of made it. They just kind of made like a weird choppy.
So they enhanced
action
the slow
scene.
motion-ness,
Yeah.
Oh.
but then they
It sounds familiar. I might have picked up on something, but
No. Anyway, so his held up all in one piece. The blade took a roll, and the handle is huge. And then
Yes.
Steve, the edge took a roll. The handle is comfortable, and it held up.
Mm-hmm.
So then for the sharpness test was a seat belt strap slice done by Doug. For John, and so I noted more fancy effects. Each of them had a different fancy effect.
Yeah.
oh,
One was like it would zoom in and then it would cut back to a different shot, and then zoom in and then cut back to a different shot. But it was like do.
All of them made it one slice
yeah.
all through.
Mm-hmm.
So then there's just the specifics. Doug liked the shape of the handle. It will cut. Joe had a wide handle. It will cut. And Doug likes the shape of the handle. It will also cut. So not a whole lot to say on the sharpness test.
Right.
No.
But because of that handle, Joe gets the boot. All the blades performed equally well.
Mm-hmm. So we move on to round 3.
Whoa.
Hey, it's a button.
Teresa takes it away.
Hey! So, for round 3, the Javanese Kris. It was a symbol of status for the Javanese warrior. The Kris has been one of the most prized possessions in Indonesian culture since the 14th century. It included an ornate pistol grip hilt and a long, narrow, double-edged blade that could either be straight or wavy. It could be used for thrusting and jabbing, and warriors could wield one in each hand. Often at the center of Javan rituals, particularly during marriages, and they are also passed down as heirlooms. The blade must be between 21 and 23 inches long, double-edged, and include at least 6 waves on each side of the blade. The handle must have a traditional pistol grip. Whew. All right,
You
now we
made
move
it.
on to the... Hello.
Good job.
Home forging. John, day 1, using 5160, and his goal is to forge the rough shape and maybe get some grinding done. He uses a template to draw the curves onto the steel and then grinds them in, which Geez, that must have taken a long time to grind 6 waves on each side of that thing. Holy cow. Now I understand what grinding is like in person. So you kind of get an idea.
Although when you guys were grinding in the curves, that part didn't take long. It was trying to get the edge geometry is what took the time.
That's also part of it too, because he has to then grind.
At this point, he wasn't doing the edges. He was just getting the waves.
The waves, which you can do fairly easily as long as you're on the wheel part of the grinder.
I wonder how many belts he went through.
Yeah, 'cause that's a lot of material. For day 2, he heat treated. He put 2 of his forges together, and then after he heat treated, he tested the tip on an old car door, which you could tell he has stabbed before.
Yes, plenty times.
But it held up.
Yep.
There was nothing there for day 3, and then on day 4, he was finishing his grinding, working on getting the tank set up for a handle. He goes to put the epoxy on, thinking it's 15-minute epoxy, and it turns out that it's 3 to 4 hour epoxy. And then he looks at his phone and it says, "There's a hurricane coming," and so he has to keep working while the epoxy is tacky and the state around him is evacuating. So he attempts to finish everything on day 4 because he's got to get the hell out of there.
Yeah.
So that was pretty suspenseful.
It was pretty wild.
Yeah. So he didn't get a day 5. He was done with day 4. And then Steve, he was making Damascus, which, based on the example weapon, would look badass for this style of blade if you can get like the cool layered wave.
Yeah.
And then he works on making a tapered billet that he will forge curves into. And he tries the press, he tries bending it in a jig, and then he just went the old school route of using a hammer and the horn of the anvil.
Yep.
And I was like watching him do that, and I was like blown away by how easily he was just using the horn to get the right thing.
Beat him right in.
And like heat and beat, right?
Heat and beat.
So that was really awesome. I was like just in awe, thinking to myself, I would love to be able to do like a small little knife dagger or something that does that. And now I kind of have an idea of what you would need to do to shape it.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Hey.
Day 2, he tempered, not shown.
Yeah.
Okay.
When he came in on day 3, he was like, "Oh, well, this tempered overnight."
Oh, okay. On day 3, he started on the handle. And then on day 4, his blade was finished. But again, that was not shown. So was it another one of, I finished my blade yesterday.
Yeah.
Now I'm doing the embellishments.
Sure, it was just grinding and whatnot.
Yeah. So day 5, he's working on the embellishments, 6 garnets to represent health. So this is pretty cool to inlay or inset those garnets into the handle. The handle is a striped hardwood like a Javanese tiger and an elephant trunk near the guard for strength.
I think it was Koa, I think he said.
The wood itself?
That sounds right.
Yeah, Koa wood. He said he really loved the look of it. And it was cool. Like the elephant trunk was pretty neat too. So overall, it was great. So we moved back into the forge for our testing. First up, we had Doug with the pig carcass keel test. For John, he had a sharp edge with slices going in and coming out. It will keel. And for Steve, he had the potential to cut the pig in half. Like, he was just tearing through that damn thing.
In half.
In half.
Not half.
Balance is really good. It is light, fast, sharp, and will keel. Strength test. We have Ben Abbott doing an oil drum stab. 5 stabs into the top of an oil drum. I was cringing watching this test. Like, this seemed like one of the more unsafe tests. Maybe it was a thin enough lid that it wouldn't have been unsafe. But it just, to me, the length of those swords and the way that he's stabbing down with it, if that were to break and he were to slip, he could really get badly hurt.
They've done it before with other Krises, too.
But the full stab down like that? Like, with the full stab? Or was it a hammer? 'Cause
I don't know.
The hammer's different.
Yeah, it could have been a hammer. Yeah, that would make sense if it was a hammer.
But anyway, I was like, holy cow.
He's in the danger zone.
Definitely. So John, for his everything held up. The tip took a little bit of dulling because of going through that lid. And then Steve, Ben loved the shape and design, which I must say was badass. That thing looked amazing. It does not appear to have sustained any damage. And when Ben is shoving that thing down, it is going really far in, past at least 3 or 4 of the way. Like, just boom. And it's like, damn, you know that's sharp. And then for the sharpness test, well, first you have Doug with that badass carcass kill test. You know, Doug's always doing these crazy kill tests. And then Ben Abbott shows up, and he's violently stabbing the top of these oil drums.
So you know Dave is bringing something good.
Dave's bringing the heat.
He's bringing the heat.
He is stabbing and slashing a woven bag.
Oh, man. Damn, son. Woven bags. There must have only been one, right?
No.
What?
There were
2.
more.
Had to be 2. You can't go more than 2.
There
You can't do more than 2.
more.
What?
There were 3.
No way.
Freaking bags.
I don't know if you can hear that. That's 3 woven bags. Are you serious?
Oh, it was 3. And boy, did he kill those.
They must have been empty.
Bags.
They must have been empty.
No, they were filled.
No, come on, man.
Filled with purple sand.
What?
The most dangerous kind of sand.
Oh, my God. What is this show coming to?
I was nervous about
How are they
going
gonna top
but then
themselves?
They threw Dave Baker in this situation against these woven bags filled
Lord.
with sand.
There could be snakes in there.
Oh, hell no.
Anyway.
Damn. What else can you say? Woven bags.
It was a bloodbath, and by blood I mean sand.
Sand bath.
So, John. His cut's very cleanly. The handle's a little short for Dave's hand. Dave's dainty hand.
Dave's fucking bear claw hand.
Picking on Dave.
I still don't understand why there's a Dave Baker phone case on the Fortune 5 store.
Oh, that's what's got you so upset?
No.
Okay.
It's just an ongoing thing. I just don't. It doesn't. Anyway,
He's clearly got the most destructive and difficult tests in the show. So, I mean, you need a tough phone case to, complement his style. That's got to be it.
You convinced me. That's got to be it.
He's cutting into bags filled with sand. 3 of them.
Anyway.
There's no way Steve is going to make this test. There's no way he can pass. His blade's going to break. It's going to bend. Something bad's going to happen.
We'll have to see what happens here.
Gonna bend.
All right, so let me know. Tell me.
Dave really likes the shape of the blade and the handle, and it cuts very clean.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
I know. It's ridiculous.
They must have rigged that test. They must have, pulled some threads out of those bags or something.
And you know what? They didn't even give Dave Baker any special effects because he doesn't need the special effects when he kills those bags.
Damn. I'll tell you what they did. They probably used John's blade to, cut the bags ahead of time for Steve.
That's cheating, Sean.
Yeah. This is a game show that has to abide by the laws.
All right.
Game show laws.
We'll see.
I think it's the thing. Anyway, so when it comes down to it, the judges decide that Steve wins.
Oh, Steve. With all the experience.
And that really badass Kris.
Yeah. The elephant. The koa.
It was cool. It was good. He deserved the win.
He went above.
His friction folder was awesome, too. His was the
was.
most
It was
completed.
good.
The handle looked amazing on that thing.
Yeah.
Dude was good.
For not knowing how to do one, he really, pulled it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then all the detail he put into his Kris was pretty sweet.
Oh, yeah. So, congratulations, Steve. That was really awesome.
Yeah.
Really impressed with that Kris. And then John, dude, his was awesome, too.
Yeah.
It was outperformed.
All woven bags aside, both did really well. They had really awesome weapons.
They looked great. They performed well. It was amazing.
Especially for John, he didn't have a lot of experience.
No, he had
4 years
4
part
or 5
time.
years. Yeah,
Right.
4 years. So that was really good. It was great.
Yep.
We liked it. So awesome.
Good episode.
Good episode. Even with my earlier issues aside, I still enjoyed the episode.
Okay.
overall.
All right.
So that was it. That was our wrap up. anything else we need to throw in at the end here? Let's see. If you haven't entered our 1,000 subscriber
right.
giveaway, go to our Instagram page and find the post, and the rules are listed there on how to do it.
Get on it.
In there.
Get on it.
2 weeks left. You can win an ostrich egg.
Yep.
You can win
That's cool.
some fancy little spears once we get these freaking things made.
That's right.
They'll be made soon.
We've
Yep.
got 2 weeks.
And then we have Teresa's knife banner. We have...
Do we want to show it since you pointed at it?
Yeah, we can show it again. Look at that beauty. And we also have a bottle of hot sauce that I have made.
Okay.
And that's it. Right?
I think so.
Well, and with the ostrich egg,
Something.
Zach said he might have something else in there as well.
Oh, okay,
So we'll
cool.
see. Maybe some other swag or something. So, go to our Instagram page and find that post if you want to enter that giveaway. It's pretty straightforward. Remember to follow us and subscribe if you haven't already on the YouTube page or the Facebook page or the Instagram page or Twitter, but nobody checks that. And we're all at Fans of the Forge on any of those platforms. And thanks everybody that's been subscribing recently. We've still been going up in the 1,300 subscriber count on YouTube. That's not bad.
That's really awesome.
So thanks to everybody that's joined us and are watching our videos. We really appreciate it. And I think that's it. Anything else?
No.
All right.
Well, maybe we'll throw in a woven bag.
All right. We'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Or we'll slice it like a woven basket.